This is the starboard berth, which is, I've got all the boards cut now, so 7 boards, and that comes to just over 6 feet. Towards this end, I will shorten it at the right point. It's too dark to be showing you now, but that'll be for another day. I'm just finishing off now because it's getting dark and I've got other things I need to do. But what I'm doing is just doing a temporary fix, just like I did with the aft cabin, just to stop the boards from sliding about. I'm just putting some temporary screws in. And the idea is that these screws will be replaced by some wooden dowels. I'll do the last one in a minute. I'm going to fit a couple of these switches. I think one switch into each of these waterproof boxes that I've got, but the first switch is going to be part of this red stroke white lighting control. So I will go into that with a very simple wiring diagram. And I hope by the time I get these switches installed, I will have at least 2 lengths of wiring running up and down the boat, which will be switchable between white and red lighting. I did get a question the other day, why the red lighting? Well, the red lighting is to preserve your night vision. I think I've shown me doing this before, but just in case, I'm just using one of these sort of craft knives, and I know roughly the size that the switch hole should be, and all I'm doing is I just put the blade in there and just gently work it like that. And you can see I've got through the surface of the plastic. And I can just carefully work down and that's my hole. cut through. Now that is going to be a lot smaller than the hole I need, but all I can do now is just use the blade to carefully trim the sides off. And I'll just make this hole will just get bigger and bigger until the switch finally fits in. So there's my hole cut out, and I'm just going to remove the lid. And there's my switch, and it's just a push fit. And oops, if I can get it in, there you go. There we are. Just push it in. There we go. So that's my 3-position switch. That's off, position 1 on, and position 2 on. I'm just working on the this is part of the galley, and I'm just working on the top support. So I've got this piece of wood to put in here, and then I've got another piece of wood somewhere. There it is. This is going to go across here at the back, and then I shall put the top on, and then when the top's in place I've got to cut a big hole in it because I've got a sink which is going to sit around about there, I think. Just had this outside, 4 degrees, feels a lot colder. Maybe too long. There we go. Right, just need to cut this bit. Hopefully that will go essentially across there. So I just need to get a couple of screws in there and one there, and then another piece over this side, and we're done. I need to get some more of this wood, but I'll be cutting it out to fit this area, and then once that's done, I will be cutting a hole for the sink to fit in somewhere about there. I was talking about these little LED light strips that I had for the red and the white lighting. The white lighting has been a bit disappointing. It's kind of the wrong colour temperature, and the red lighting is fine, because the red lighting is actually, it seems brighter than the white lighting, if that makes any sense. But anyway, the white lighting strips, LED strips, I will use somewhere, but I have got these fellas, these are MR16 LED lights. These are 12 volt, and hopefully, as you can see, it's a much better light. It's a warmer light, so it's excellent for the galley and the cooking area. I've got these little connectors as well. So these are MR16 connectors, and you just basically push the bulb onto the connector, and then you can wire up. And I think, I'm not sure, I haven't actually tried it, it's just maybe just by look, but I am not I think you can wire these any way you want. It doesn't matter which is positive and which is negative, I think. So the other thing with these is that I think I'm going to have to start, when I cook curries, I like to start from scratch, and I like to use spices and all the rest of it. But I think I'm going to have to change for a little while and start buying this kind of curry sauce. Nothing wrong with these, by the way. I mean, these are actually great. I love this sort of thing. But they're the sort of thing, they have some little ground spices in the lid, and then the sauce is in the jar. But the thing is that the lid fits one of these little MR16s pretty well, and so I am thinking that I can fit them in with a little bit of hot glue to sit in there. And the thing is, the difference is that when you put one of these onto one of the MR16s like that, it does actually spread the light out a little bit. Yeah, it does. Take my word for it. But it will also mean that I can use this as a housing to mount the light wherever I'm wanting to put it. So that's how the lighting is going. I haven't lit my stove yet because I'm trying to conserve wood. I'm trying not to get through it like I have been. Temperature at the moment is 3.7 degrees centigrade, which is why I've got like 2 jumpers and 3 shirts on. This is what I've been preparing food on and stuff like that. So that's coming off. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I need to put in a little bit more of this battening so that it supports the wood on the top, and then I can go for it. So sorry about the flue being in the way there, but it's the only way I can get a decent angle to show you what I'm doing. So I've already got one piece of timber in here. That's been there all the time. I'm going to put another piece of timber in at the front here, and it's going to go down at this level here. But because I've got a piece of timber here with some screws going through it, I'm going to support this with a block underneath, and then this will be screwed into the block. And I'm going to do the same on the other end. Okay. So first of all, I just need to measure to get the length of wood that I need. That'll be okay. Just need to be. And in this case, I'm going to cut it a little bit longer because I want it to be a really good tight fit. This piece at the back, this is the same piece of wood that I used to cut for the back piece of timber here where the sink is going to be. So it's already got, this is the opposite end of the angle that I cut for that, so it's going to go in about there. Oops. So I'm just going to mark it so that I can cut it. And then I'm going to use this piece of wood to cut a couple of blocks. They don't need to be huge. Probably about that size. Okay. So, find my saw. And there we go. So it's time to get sawing again. So it's getting on now, and I really would like to get something to eat and get the stove lit so that I can cook. So I have some more of these. This is the full length of the board, so I'm going to cut the full length ones down to fit properly. But these are the offcuts that I had from the starboard berth. Oops, sugar. And because I want a surface that I can use, I'm just going to put these together, and then I'll put a couple of clamps on to hold them in place. It just means that I can do my food preparation and stuff on here. Oh yes, I've got something to show you. It's in the aft cabin in the bedroom. Yes, I've got one of these things. It is an electric blanket because the temperature has been getting down so low. I need something that is relatively cheap to run. So this is my little meter, which is measuring how much electricity I'm using from the shore side. So you can see that's with the electric blanket on and the battery charger, and it's using 105 watts, which is a lot better than running a fan heater. Well, I think the cold is having an effect on everything. I got back on the boat, it's 1.5 degrees centigrade. I've just lit the fire and I've now got 2.2 degrees centigrade. I am enjoying a Merlot tonight. I think I got this one from Tesco. But all you wine buffs, you'll be leaping up and down because this wine is currently at 2.2 degrees centigrade, and that's how I'm drinking it. But it's all right. Seems okay to me. Anyway, yes, I'm going to try and do a quick explainer on the wiring for the red stroke white lighting. Bear with me because my batteries are playing up as well. Not my personal batteries, you understand, the camera batteries. Okay, so pay attention. This is my wiring diagram as best as I can do it. I have here, this is my 12-volt battery. Okay, positive terminal, negative terminal. The positive terminal goes off through a fuse to a 3-position switch. One of the positions will be off, and the other 2 positions, one would be for the white light, and the second position would be for the red light. Okay, the white light in this case I've done with a blue line, the red light I've done with a red line. So in this position, the switch is on to the white lighting, so the current flows along this wire and all the way down this master wire, I would call it, I suppose, and then leading off this wire, it goes through the actual white lights and then feeds back through to the negative terminal, which is connected via this wire here, the green. And you can see here I've got a switch. I don't actually have this fitted yet, but it's something I'll probably do in the future, so that each individual lamp can be turned off, so you don't have to have the whole lot on or the whole lot off. So you could select which ones you want to actually be on or off via these switches, and this switch controls whether it's a white light or a red light that's going to come on. That's the idea. Because these wires, you can see they trail off down here, so this can be extended. You're only limited by the amount of power that's going through the wire and the size of your fuse. But LED lights, they take so little energy, I don't think I'm going to have a problem. I seem to remember promising to show you my fridge. This is a Dometic, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, or Dometic, or Dometic, but it's a little 12-volt fridge, and it holds quite a lot in there. Has a little freezer compartment at the top, which you can actually take out, I think, so that you can have even more room just as a fridge. And I thought it was playing up the other day, but it wasn't. It was just the voltage in my battery was dropping during the day to such a low voltage that the fridge automatically switches off, and there's a little orange light on the inside that flashes, that basically telling you that there's something wrong. And the only way of resetting it that I can find is that you have to actually disconnect the power altogether, switching it off, and then switch it back on again once the battery voltage is back up to its right level. I have been leaving the battery on charge through the day, and since then I have not had a problem. And in fact, with the temperatures we've got at the moment, it's actually colder in the boat than inside this fridge. So I'll probably be sleeping in the fridge tonight. Oh, I'm absolutely delighted with this fridge. It's been operating for about a year, so really delighted with it. Okay, so just before I go, just one last big thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. It means such a lot because it helps the channel become more visible to other people. And thank you to everybody that leaves comments. I try to reply to every single one. Yeah, much more coming. Thank you. Bye-bye. I am not kidding you that this here, if you can see it, ice. Can't even get it up. The problem is when all of this starts to warm up, it's going to be dripping condensation all over the place. So I'm going to stay in bed and edit and post the next video.